it must be great if you're just totally ruthless and evil, and I mean that sarcastically, but it must just be great because they get to take over, kill, enslave, bankrupt whoever they want, and then talk about how great they are building this great New World Order when they're just a bunch of criminals.
Not only that, most of them are pedophiles.
Man, these people...
That's even more sickening.
Do you think that they've gone too far, though, Bob?
Well, they have, but we have to play it out. And they're going to have to make their moves, and we're going to have to make ours. They think they got the Army in their pocket, and they're sadly mistaken. They're not going to follow them. I haven't asked you yet what you think of the shooting at Fort Hood. Too early to tell, Alex.
Yeah, I agree with you, but the truth will come out later. But by then, nobody will be paying attention. Your call straight ahead. 2 more segments with Bob Chapman. Stay with us. Let's go to Nick in New Jersey. Nick, you're on the air. Welcome.
Hey, this is my first time calling.
Welcome.
I heard Mr. Chapman speak, and it makes me sad to know that the Justice Department, the CIA, and FBI, just who's running those damn companies, And I was in that march when we went down to Washington, D.C., and all of these buildings were on the same street, and if I had a paper and pencil, I would have put signs up, for sale, for rent, out of business, bank sale. You know what I mean? Those buildings are right out there, right on the corner.
Well, that's what tyranny is. Well, that's what tyranny is. It's when criminal interests come in, get control of your government, and start robbing you. And it happens everywhere else on the planet. It's happening here. We better grow up and admit it and tell these people, stop it, and start bringing them to justice, because they're not going to quit until we grow a backbone. Bob Chapman.
That's the way to do it, and that's why we're getting the word out, and that's why you're going to Washington and letting them know that you don't agree with what's going on. They had that march on Thursday. It appeared in none of the major media.
Except for them calling them racist. It had nothing to do with race. Right. They don't want government-run health care. They can't run cash for clunkers. They can't run this. And that's being nice to them. Nick, good to hear from you.
How do they think they're going to get away with that? Because it's a non sequitur. It has nothing to do with what they were doing. I mean, stupid. I'm talking about the government and the media and saying those things.
It's amazing. Let's talk to Arnold in California. Arnold, welcome.
Yes, thank you, Alex. Thank you so much for having me on. First-time caller. I've been listening to you for a long time. And here's something that I quite don't understand. It seems like the CIA seems to be more connected in doing business outside of the U.S. to hoard all this money in the international trade. And I know that because I'm somewhat connected internationally, and this is what I always hear from the people. Before you can do anything, it seems like you have to give the CIA their cut first.
Bob?
First of all, I don't have firsthand knowledge. Historically, I do. And I wouldn't be surprised if they weren't extorting everybody. It is a criminal organization.
Well, the thing is that I was in the military myself, and I know that every branch of the military has their own intelligence. And it seems like if the CIA is supposedly intelligence outside of the U.S., why do we need them if the military already has their own?
Well, it's a good question. It's something that existed starting in the late 1930s, modeled on MI6. It was OSS. In 1948, it became the Central Intelligence Agency. In 1953, it was brought under the National Security Agency, which was formed that year. So it became part of it. In that same year, the Army Security Agency was formed, and I worked for them. So I worked indirectly with both those organizations, particularly NSA. And so the CIA exists probably so that Wall Street and others can run the opium trade and extort money from people and pull scams like Madoff and the Nugan Hand episode and things like that. I mean, these guys are top criminals.
And there's no doubt that the opium trade founded Skull and Bones. It founded out of OSS CIA. That's in mainline history of the CIA. And you've got all these other compartmentalized federal intelligence groups and international intelligence groups. And there's a lot of good people that work for them, but they're all compartmentalized, doing a separate job that isn't part of the criminal hierarchy. Bob Chapman, we're going to let you go. TheInternationalForecaster.com. People get a free trial subscription. Your new issue comes out every Saturday. It comes out twice a week. It's always great having you on with us, and I really appreciate you spending time with us today, Bob.
Well, I thank you, and thanks everybody for listening, and I'll be here next week. Bye-bye.
Take care. There he goes.